This week we are going to continue with our drawing lessons. We are going to use the same picture photo reference that we used last week, and we are actually going to build off of this drawing that we did last week, the contour line drawings, and we're going to do cross contour line drawings today. Now, I told you that we weren't going to use index cards and do a warm-up, but we are going to. So grab one index card and a pencil, and let's practice this before we do it on the final picture. So a cross contour line drawing is when you draw the outline the same with the contour line drawing of an object. So I have a bottle of ink here, so I'm going to draw my bottle of ink, just the outline here, like we did last week. Okay, so I have the outline drawn here. So what a cross contour line drawing is going to do is we're going to start filling in the lines. Now these aren't lines that we're actually seeing necessarily, although this line on the label is actually working as a cross contour line just because of the nature of it going around the shape. So the purpose of contour lines, cross contour lines, is to make the shape, it's to follow the movement of the shape. So if I were to tape straight lines across this object, they wouldn't turn out straight because they're moving around a curved object. So what we're doing is we're just adding these curved lines around the object to give it form, even though those lines aren't really on the object. These lines are actually on the object, but because they are on the lid. So we're just going around this bottle, drawing lines. Now, because there's so many lines, you might have to thicken some of the lines. So there you have it. So now we're gonna move on to our photograph and start drawing it. You can either start with a pencil if that makes it feel safer, or you can start with your Sharpie markers. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my Sharpie markers. So I'm gonna start with my contour line drawing. And then after those are drawn, we will start adding cross contour lines. And I might not fill the whole page up with those lines. I might just do some of it. I'm not sure. sped up doing the contour line drawing because I literally did that just last week, so I felt like I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on that part. But if you need a refresher, go back to last week's lesson and see how to do that. But basically, I'm just following the outlines and the major lines that I see in these flowers. Now we're going to begin with our cross contour line drawing. So you can do this a lot of different ways. There's no right way to do this. However, I find that I'm going to start with these tubular type shapes because they are the easiest to do. And what I do is I just take and look at the edges of the shape or the ends of the shape, and I just follow that exact same motion across the shape. So where this one has lines going, I'm looking at the picture, but I'm also looking at the lines that I've already drawn. And I'm just drawing this curved line along this picture. And when I get to this place where there's a fork in the road, basically, then I go back to my picture and I find where that exactly is and what's overlapping what, and now I can go back to filling in that space. So the tip of this is a lot more complicated than just the tube shape. Not a lot more complicated, but it's a little different here. But I'm just following that edge that I've already drawn to get that motion correct. So I said that knowing how to do this helps with shading because oftentimes our objects, the way that the shading ends up happening is in cross contour lines. So you'll look at the object and you'll see the shadows on the object or the core shadows, and they'll follow those contour lines naturally. So this is giving our picture form. So this, you'll see it starts to shift from this end, it's curving that way, and from this end, it's curving this way. And so I just follow the lines in and they get straighter as I go to the center. And I just love this so much. I love how it is taking form. It looks like I missed the lines here. So I'm gonna come back in with a thicker Sharpie here. Oh, my Sharpie is on the fritz of becoming extinct here. So unfortunately, those were terrible lines. Now, I haven't decided how I'm going to do the petals yet, but look at this petal here. If you can see that on the camera, it already kind of has its own cross contour lines in there. So that's exactly what I'm going to follow when I do that one, is the lines that are already on there. And so when we color something or we're shading something, the best way to do that is to follow the edge or the outline of the object. So right now I'm trying to decide how many cross contour lines I want to add to this picture. I feel like it would really overwhelm the picture to draw the whole thing in cross contour lines. So I may just do them really close in the center, and then as I move out along the petals, I will do them farther apart. The goal here, though, is to create form using line. So imagining if you were to take and draw straight lines across a surface, or add tape lines across the surface, what would they end up looking like when you finish taping them? That's what we're capturing here. So go slowly and really look at the picture and try to move along the form. Our last drawing, we were going slowly and moving along the outline. This time we're really trying to create volume. So as I'm looking at this one that I'm doing right now, I could have done my contour line drawings this way, the long way. I tend to like to do the shortest distance and make more lines shorter, but I did do it the long way on this one, and I could come across that and do them going across, but where I'm going to leave my focal point areas, I'm going to do more lines, so I'm going to choose the shorter lines rather than the longer lines going this way or this way. I could, either way is right. There's no wrong way to do this. I'm also looking at what the object is to decide, because at first I was going to draw those across thinking that it was one of the tubes, but it's actually a leaf, so I'm glad that I went back to my reference photo and drew it the long way, because the leaves, they don't have as much round form. They're flatter, so that's exactly the way that I want them to come across, is how they actually are. So a lot of times if you study the picture and you just look at it and you take the time to just pause and look at the picture, it will give you the answers that you need. It's already in there. It's already in the, if you're doing flowers, it's already in the way that the veins run along the flower. It's already on the shadow lines of the object. All I'm doing here is just looking for what the flower's already giving me.